For the first 15 years of our marriage, we worshiped at a parish that we loved in a nearby town. I was active in the choir, and Toni served in the mom's ministry. She was a catechist. All of our children were baptized there. 2 of them received their first reconciliation and their first communion there. But in 2005, we got this funny email. It looked like it had been forwarded around Oviedo about 17 times already by the time it got to us. And it announced that there was going to be Most Precious Blood Catholic Church starting in Oviedo. Literally, I giggled with joy. We had been praying for years that Oviedo would get its own parish. We joined MPB right away, excited to finally have our own Catholic church here in the place where we had chosen to raise our family.
Most Precious Blood immediately felt like home. We saw so many friends and neighbors here, some who we had not even known were Catholic. At school, at Publix, Scouts, the ball fields, even UCF football games, we encountered so many of the same faces we saw at Mass. This was something I hadn't encountered since growing up at St. Helen's Catholic Church in Lauderdale Lakes. I was happy that my own family could now experience this. And we made so many more new friends here as well. In the rite of baptism, we're reminded that as parents, we are the primary educators of our children in the faith. From the beginning, this parish has been a place where we know our children are safe, looked after, catechized in the faith, and affirmed as children of God, reinforcing what we are teaching and trying to teach at home. It's been said that it takes a village to raise a child. Most Precious Blood is that village and more. My parents also chose to move to MPB. They immediately found and made friends here. It comforts me to know that they are surrounded by close church friends who look after them at times that I cannot.
We're grateful for the way MPB has provided a wide and faith-filled environment where our whole family's faith is nurtured. Bible studies for us, for our kids, even opportunities to learn together, like watching a movie about St. Augustine after one of the potluck dinners. And each of our children has encountered a catechist somewhere along the way who really touched them. 2 even asked former catechists to sponsor them for confirmation. We remember how from the earliest days, Sue Karpinski was organizing vacation Bible schools, not just in the summer, but Christmas and Easter too, right? And we all did this, even though the only facilities we had at the time were a rented cafeteria, a rented gymnasium, and a dinky little office on Lockwood Boulevard. Our younger children loved attending VBS, and our older children loved serving at VBS. Youth group mission trips have made a deep impact on our older children. Joanna enjoyed them so much that this summer, as a college senior, she applied to go on a UCF-sponsored trip to help some farmers in Nicaragua. Imagine our delight when she telephoned us one day from a remote farm to say not only had she found a way to get to Mass in the village on Sunday morning, she took several of her peers along with her, some who hadn't been to Mass in more than 10 years. That's the kind of faith and joyful witness that Most Precious Blood has fostered in our family.
After the 10 o'clock Mass, we enjoy hanging out on the porch and talking with friends while our kids run around on the grass or play games under the shade of Lucky. And how about those fish fries during Lent? We've also been blessed with many fine priests since 2005.
Actually, yeah, right. Yes.
Around our dinner table, we've enjoyed Father Stephen horsing around with the kids and maybe getting in trouble with the cook.
Yeah, definitely. Father Jorge's infectious laugh.
Father Alond chiding our youngest to eat his vegetables,
comparing notes on really good science fiction movies with Father Scott,
Father Hector's lightsaber lessons,
Father David playing the piano, and his endless supply of corny jokes.
and Father Dom skipping the table and heading straight to the sofa to kick off his shoes. Most precious blood is the family where the men whose hands feed us the body and blood of Christ and give a joyful witness to a life dedicated to Jesus and his church.
I want to tell you just briefly about a grace-filled moment I experienced several years ago on one of our high school retreats. I was along to help provide music for the weekend and maybe, just maybe, get a little bit of sleep as a chaperone in the boys' dorm. On Saturday night, the kids were gathered together for adoration. After an hour filled with periods of incense, singing, and silence, the priest carried Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament around the room. He lingered in front of each teenager to bless them. Some of them gazed silently at the Eucharist. Others cried. Some uttered prayers that only Jesus could hear. When adoration was over, some of the kids didn't want to leave the room. They just wanted to sit in front of the tabernacle and pray. I offered a silent prayer of thanks that night that I was able to witness a room with dozens of otherwise restless teenagers transformed by a powerful personal encounter with Christ. Toni and I are grateful that we belong to a parish where our children have opportunities like that to experience the treasures of our faith.
Most Precious Blood Catholic Church is a community where we receive so many gifts: comfort, help, encouragement, and friendship. A place where we can serve and where we receive. That's what Most Precious Blood Catholic Church means to us.